Hi Capricorn, thanks for tuning in. Happy birthday and Happy New Year. I have a new deck. I purchased the Aquarian Tarot for myself as a little gift. I've been eyeing this deck for many years and I'm so happy to have it in my possession now. And this is going to be the first reading ever that I'm doing with it. So please tune in with me while I shuffle. Connect with your higher self and your spiritual team, your guidance. Ask them to connect with me, with my higher self and my guides so that we can create a feedback loop to bring through messages that are tailored for you. Please don't multitask while you're watching this reading. I want to make sure that you make the most out of your time with me and that you don't miss any valuable insight that your team is passing on through me. You may also want to grab some headphones while you listen to this reading to make sure that you really collect everything that's being laid out here for you today. Okay, let's take a look. Bottom of the deck, we have Seven of Wands. Interesting cards here for you, Capricorn. I'll go into each card in detail. Okay, so as I said, the bottom of the decks we have this Seven of Wands. So that's kind of telling me that at this moment in time, you might be feeling a little bit defensive. You may be under attack. It seems like that from these cards here as well, that you may be dealing with some kind of... I feel like what the first impression that I get here is that in some way, your personality or your reputation is under attack by some people who may be trying to... I'm hearing spoil your reputation or taint your reputation. If this is happening to you, my heart goes out to you. This is not a nice feeling that I'm getting here. It's like it's causing you a lot of anguish and pain. I feel that you have here with the in the hopes and peace position, Nine of Swords with the High Priestess. This is definitely something causing anxiety and stress and torment. I hear torment. I'll come back around to that in a second. That just jumped out to me there. But what I feel could be here too as well with the Three of Pentacles is in reverse as your crossing card in this reading over the Fool in reverse. So what I feel from this is that this could be something happening in your workplace, in some kind of group project or some kind of collaboration or in a team of people that you're working with. There seems to be an attempt to make you, as I said, with the Fool reverse there, that to me is saying like people are trying to make you look like a fool or trying to tarnish your reputation or in some way attack your personality or affect. There's one person specifically I feel here. There's one person specifically here that seems to be wanting to really influence people against you. It's this Queen of Swords here in reverse. I feel that there's one character in your situation right now that is speaking untruthfully about you in a way that is very cutting. It's very deliberately attempting to break down. It's having a breakdown effect. It's having a very debilitating and just a second. There's a destructive energy in it. I'm so sorry, Capricorn. I'm sorry if this reading is coming out off dramatic. I'm just reading the energy of the cards as they are landing here. We're gonna get through this, and we're gonna come to a part in the reading where we can start to give some practical advice to help you feel empowered in the situation and figure out how to best deal with the circumstances and the people that you're dealing with right now. So you have 3 sixes in your reading: Six of Swords in reverse, Six of Cups in reverse, and the Lovers also in reverse. Lovers is number 6 from the Major Arcana. This is telling me that there is definitely a lack of harmony in your situation at the moment. This Six of Swords in reverse with the 10 of Cups in upright here in the position of the environment is again telling me that there is some kind of in a group environment. Again, with this 10 of Cups, it feels like some kind of group environment, either work environment. It could be family, but and even though the Lovers is in this reading, I feel like this is not a family thing. I feel like this is something in a community, maybe a chosen family. Maybe this is your co-conspirators in the creative world. These could be people that you perform with or that you meet on a regular basis for some type of like, it could be like a spiritual group that you meet with, whether it's for medicinal work or just like speaking together and kind of working things out. The point I was making there is that I don't feel this is necessarily about a husband and wife or a family situation. This is more feeling like a group of people. And with the Six of Swords in reverse here, with the Six of Cups in reverse, and the Lovers in reverse, I feel that there is some kind of, again, anguish, mental anguish that's happening as a result of some either one individual, I feel like it's one person that's instigating rumors and gossip and is speaking about you maybe in ways that is untrue, in a way to affect the way other people perceive you. So let's see. This central axis of the reading from recent past, currently, and into the potential future is interesting. You have 3 major arcanas. All 3 are in reverse. You have the Sun in reverse, the Fool in reverse, and the Lovers in reverse. And again, as I said, the crossing card is 3 of Pentacles. So the effect that I'm feeling here from this person's influence is this kind of splitting apart energy. So, as I said, someone might be gossiping about you in a way that is of influencing others. But the net result here is that you may find yourself splitting away from a group of people. And actually, that's a good thing. That's what I want you to take away from this. Even though this could be painful right now, there's something about the people around you that are acting upon your energy, which is actually a dissonance in your frequency. So take heart here. Take compassion actually for these people that might be just acting out of really low vibration energy and speaking in ways that is toxic and debilitating. And just make sure here with the 7 of Wands, we're going to go to the bottom of the deck now. So we have 7 of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, King of Cups, and King of Wands. That's really interesting. King of Cups is upright, King of Wands is in reverse. So what these 4 cards here are telling me is that it's important for you right now to simply remove yourself, extract yourself from the situation, be aware of your boundaries. Even though people may be forcing you into a defensive position right now, the best thing you can do is not engage. Don't try to defend yourself in verbal ways. Simply extract your energy from the situation so that you're not being as triggered or as much under the influence of it if you would be like standing in it and try to resolutely, try to bring back your personality to people whose opinion is so easily tainted by one person that can just say something and make them change their mind about you, And the 8 of Pentacles here is saying focus on your own work. Just keep your head down. Keep working away at whatever you're working away at, whatever's important to you, whatever your craft is or whatever your skill that you're honing is, just stay focused on that. And even though, and then with these 2 kings here, this King of Cups upright, King of Wands in reverse, this is again saying like focus on your emotional well-being. Yes, this is a very challenging experience, and yes, emotionally this is very difficult, 9 of Swords, 6 of Swords reversed. There's pain here, 5 of Pentacles, for sure there's some discomfort and pain. We have the Hierophant here as well. I didn't really talk about that. I'll come back around to these cards. But what this is saying here is that focusing on your emotional well-being, focus on your emotional well-being. Like if there's nothing else you can take away from the situation, is that it's helping you to see where you still need to work on your self-esteem. Of course it hurts to be under attack. Of course it hurts to be spoken about in ways that affect your reputation. Of course it hurts if other people are easily influenced by one person's words and withdraw from you. People that you've known for a long time, even people that you've given so much to. Of course that's going to hurt. But there is a function at play here. There is a very practical, very protective energy actually that's playing out here that your guides are facilitating for you. It is not easy. I don't want to detract from what you're going through here, but I want to help convey to you that your guides and your spiritual team are actually working really hard to help facilitate a movement for you out of a specific frequency, vibration of a particular group of people that's actually not resonant or not harmonious with the person that you're growing into or that you've grown into. And so there is a need for movement and shifting away from, and perhaps this situation is actually the perfect catalyst for you in this regard. Now, King of Wands in reverse with the King of Cups upright. I think simply what this is saying, this to me is connecting to this Seven of Wands in the upright position, where I feel like King of Wands is someone who's revered and admired and looked up to. And because he's in reverse here, it's kind of touching on what I've already been speaking about. And I think the point here is that, again, it's not about trying to reclaim your space or your power by trying to tell people, no, don't listen to this person, they're not right. There's no point to trying to defend yourself. There's no point in trying to reclaim your power by having to explain to people that you are who you are, because your actions are actually very loud. And if people need to have that explained to them, that they're not really smart enough to actually be part of your inner circle. You know, people need to see who you are for the actions that you have been diligently and consistently portraying over years of time. If one person has the authority and strength to be able to afflict that kind of twisted effect on your person with a group of people who supposedly know you, like, come on. You may feel the pain of rejection here. You may be feeling rejected. But again, what I'm saying here is your spiritual team are energetically helping you to see that you ought to move away from this environment, from this frequency. Yeah, so Queen of Swords, Five of Pentacles in reverse. There is definitely a feeling here of rejection, of gossip, of the poisonous words of a specific individual who seeks to ruin your reputation. I'm sorry if I'm repeating, and they're horrible words to say, I must actually admit. Nine of Swords with the High Priestess. This is definitely causing anguish and anxiety and pain, turmoil. But the High Priestess here is just helping. High Priestess in this corner, and then the Hierophant in this corner with the Four of Swords. Like, there's something similar about these two quadrants, right? This quadrant is the hopes and fears. This Nine of Swords with the High Priestess. And then this quadrant is you right now. So Four of Swords with the Hierophant. So what this is saying to me is that, like, the Hierophant and the High Priestess in this reading are feeling very connected to you and your higher self. And what your guides are wanting to transmit here is to simply to say, like, this process that you're going through right now is a really deep cleanse. It's a really deep cleanse. And it's bringing you to this very, a refinement in your frequency. And yes, it's very, like the Hierophant here is saying that this is a deep schooling, like this is a spiritual test. This is an initiation that you're going through. And with the Four of Swords in this quadrant of the reading with the Hierophant reversed, I feel that what it's saying here is that this is a process that you must submit to, right? It's almost like this, the seven of Wands and the Four of Swords here are kind of saying the same thing, but in opposite ways. The Four of Swords is saying, it's this feeling of like allowing yourself to be subjected to what you're going through and just kind of take it. Just take it. rather than trying to be defensive and fight back, and you'll just be wasting energy. You'll just be wasting energy. I'm sorry, Capricorn. I know this is tough, but you gotta just like take a deep breath. Find some compassion for the people that are in your environment that may be subjecting you to this kind of challenging difficulty. But going through it will bring you to a really much better place. I know that might seem hard to understand right now, and it might be painful to even watch this reading. But hopefully there is some solace that you're able to glean from the messages that are coming through here to help you understand how best to work with this energy so that you're not struggling, that you're not fighting, that you're not making this more drawn out and longer than it needs to be. I think the quicker this will pass by, as soon as you can accept and tolerate what's going on, even if it's unacceptable and intolerable, okay? And just surrender completely to the experience. Accept people's shortcomings. I know that sounds fucking annoying to hear. And just keep your head down. Stay in your own lane. Focus on what's important to you. Work with your emotional intelligence. Work with stoicism. Work with practicality and pragmatism to see that whatever obstacles you're facing now are actually bringing you to greater self-awareness, greater strength of character, greater intuitive capacity with the High Priestess, and just simply a refinement of your being. It just is what it is right now. All right, let me see what else is here that I can talk about in this reading, but I feel like that's more or less it. There's 2 3s in the reading, 3 of Wands in reverse and 3 of Pentacles in reverse. As I said, there's 3 6s in the reading. There's 2 5s, the Hierophant and the 5 of Pentacles. The past card, actually, I didn't really speak on this, but you have the Sun here, right? So all I need to say about this here is that simply whatever you have been a part of before was at one time really beautiful. It was full of vitality and fun and love and compatibility and creativity, but it's not anymore. And that's part of what you're going through here, is the acceptance that that needs to be left behind, that you need to sacrifice. There's definitely a lot of sacrifice in this reading, Capricorn. I'm sorry. There's a lot of sacrifice in this reading. There is definitely things that you need to let go of. There is a lot of compassion for the self needed at this time. There's a lot of forgiveness for the self needed at this time. Also forgiveness for the others, the perpetrators in this reading. I want to move on now to the Voyager deck and into the higher octave reading. I feel like the story is not over. I don't want to leave you there with this energy. I want to take this further so we can see in more empowered and practical ways like what we can do to move through this energy and make the most out of it. Because there is a huge opportunity here, right? All right. I'll leave it there. Let's look at the Voyager deck. Tune in again with me while I shuffle. We're going to have a look at any forces at play that may be hidden from us. We're going to also look at, as I said, any practical advice, hopefully that your guides can provide. The higher octave reading is designed to help us make the most out of our situation by showing us that which is hidden, any blind spots, and revealing any additional information that may help us to understand exactly what circumstances are at play. So send your energy into the deck. Do one more shuffle. 10 of Cups at the bottom of the deck, which we had here in this quadrant. I definitely feel like this is something about a group of people. It could be family for some of you. There could certainly be some kind of, there could be a divorce, for example, in this reading. Anyway, let's have a look at this higher octave spread. 9 of Cups. Crossed by 4 of Wands. King of Pentacles reversed, the Hermit reversed, 3 of Cups, Hierophant reversed again in your reading. Now we have Devil in reverse. Here's the Star, a lot of major arcana in this reading, Ace of Wands, Child of Crystals reversed, 6 of Wands, Empress reversed, Woman of Cups reversed, and here's the Sun again. Interesting. Okay. This reading is more about you. Like in the previous reading, it was really clear to me that there's something going on with other people who are contributing in a toxic way through their communication with others that is harming your reputation. This reading is different. It's more about you. It feels like, just a second. This is more about, there's still pain and discomfort here. I'm not gonna lie. Like this is a painful time. I feel this is really uncomfortable. But what's going on here is it's saying that this is a moment for you to detach from things that you may have become too dependent on, too reliant on, too obsessed by, too possessive of, right? That's devil. And illuminate your situation with sun energy, with brightness, with activation, with awareness about that which has been too possessive or too toxic or too attached or too dependent, right? And with the nine of cups at the center of the reading, and then the hermit here, 9 as well in reverse, this is just saying to me like this is a time for you to understand, like it's time for you to go within. It may also be another reminder here, as I said in the first reading, to withdraw your energy from groups of people or from extended family or whatever like externalized circumstances there are. This might be a time for you to withdraw. You may not be able to totally go and retreat and isolate yourself from all of the influences, but there's definitely like guidance here for you to minimize, like make sure your boundaries really clear, minimize the amount of potential that other people have to actually get in and either attack you or harm you or hurt you in some way, by just like protecting and withdrawing a little bit. But it's also about actually going within to find the answers, going inside and meditating and trying to provide a space for your spirit, your higher self to communicate with you in clear ways to help you understand exactly what you're going through and how to proceed, how to work with it so that you actually maximize the potential for learning that you have here. Because it feels like there's a lot of karma being cleared here. But if you miss some of the information, or if you deny the truth of what's actually going on here, and that's a possibility here that I could see. Like if you choose not to see excuse me, the truth of what's going on here, and you deliberately kind of trick yourself and put yourself in a position that you're not really in, meaning like if you've put yourself in a victimized position, even though there is that energy here of you being the victim of someone perpetrating, that's not how we approach things in the spiritual growth area of life. We approach things from the perspective of our utter responsibility for what we're experiencing. So even though there may be harm done to you at this time, there may be individuals who might be acting in a very toxic and, I heard, promiscuous way, whatever. This is about how we respond to that, how we rise up, how we take the highest path, how we maximize our growth potential in the opportunities provided by using our facilities to accept and forgive and release and let go, all those things that we know we ought to do in the right context, right? It doesn't mean you have to be with them or forgive them in a way that means you stay together or whatever. It's not about that. It's just about your own energy and how you keep things flowing and clear and open, and continue to work on places where you find any resistance or stuck energy or, you know, stubbornness or any anti energy, any pushing back energy, right? That's the place where you need to look, just to keep things flowing and loving and clear and open. Because ultimately this is about your happiness, right? 9 of Cups. This is about your happiness, your fulfillment. And that part of what you're learning here through this whole experience is that, you know, that the way people see us, of course it affects us, but what's more important is the way we see ourselves, right? So if you're under attack because of someone else, someone seeking to diminish your reputation or diminish the way you are perceived by others for whatever their own reasons are, this is about you being in that space of emotional resiliency, emotional intelligence, emotional fitness, right? To continue to climb that hill and do that arduous work of being utterly self-loving, self-compassionate, self-forgiving, self-accepting. And it's in moments like this where we are under attack, where we are feeling the strife and the struggle of difficult situations, that we need that more than ever. And so that's actually what's really going on here. This is you in a sort of boot camp to really master self-love. And it's through circumstances like this that you might see, even though you may have been doing this work for a long time and you might feel really self-loving and full of self-confidence, but you might experience a circumstance, something like this, where you might be under personal attack, and all of a sudden all that work that you felt like you've done and that you've achieved feels like it slips away through the cracks. And this is the time when we have to really see that it's an ongoing task. It's not something you attain one time and then you move on from. Self-love is a continual practice. So strive to access that space through the hermit energy of going within, seek the light, seek the truth, seek wisdom, seek that contact and direct communication from your higher self to help guide you in this circumstance. And continue to aspire on for your own growth, for your own accelerated, exponentiated path of utterly, everly evolving. Here we have the star with the Woman of Cups in reverse in your environment. And as I said, in this quadrant we had the Devil and the Sun. There's a lot of major arcana in your reading. So what I feel from these 4 cards is that, again, there's this energy of releasing that which has been too possessive or obsessive or dependent or toxic, and illuminating it with light, bringing awareness to it. And here there is, again, that the Woman of Cups is speaking to me about that self-love I just described there, with, you know, becoming aware of how one must continually strive to embody unconditional self-love. With the star here, I feel like there's an energy here bringing optimism to your reading. Again, as I was saying in the first part of the reading, this is not something easy that you're going through. That's really clear from these cards in this reading. But what we're looking for here is guidance that will help give you the motivation to keep going through the circumstances and not get disheartened or give up given the challenges that you're facing. And the star energy is here to bring that. It's to bring that inner that guidance that of like love and compassion and optimism and healing. This is a healing process that you're going through. I mean, all of life is a healing process. But this specific incident is really helping to clear out some really old stuff. And you might be sick of hearing that. I know I'm sick of hearing that. I'm sick of hearing that. This reading is for me, by the way. I'm a Taurus, but I'm going through something very much like this right now. And it's really hard. It's really hard. But it's also, once you've been through these kinds of cycles before and you start to see the patterns emerging, there is a point where you can access that energy of like, I know this is going to change. I know this is so temporary. I know that this is hard right now, but I understand because of what I've experienced before that when I go through these really tough things like this, I always end up in a better place as a result of it. So that's something that the star card is bringing in this reading. Hopefully you can see that even though this is really challenging experience, you know that it's bringing you to a better place. And you know that if you put the effort in right now to really rise up to meet the challenges that you're facing, that this is going to bring you to a much better place in life. It's going to bring a greater quality of experience. It's going to just, in general, bring you to a more refined and open and resilient and compassionate place in yourself. And that will inevitably bring a greater quality of life in your general experience. So what else we have here in this reading? In the hopes and fears quadrant, we have Ace of Wands upright with the Empress in reverse. And then in the outcome quadrant, we have Page of Swords in reverse with Six of Wands upright. So what this is telling me is that while the effect of the circumstance that you're under the influence of right now may be affecting your self-confidence, it may be affecting your self-worth, your self-esteem. But what it is doing is illuminating that which needs to be perceived that you may not have been able to perceive. Devil reversed, also Hierophant reversed. And it's helping to expose also people who are around you who maybe don't deserve to be that close to you, right? Like what I'm getting from the Page of Swords in reverse in this reading is gossip, pettiness, immaturity. But I don't feel it's you. I feel like it's the people around you. But as always, in all my readings, everything can be opposite, right? So we could be talking about you in the regard that you might be the one who's actually backbiting and gossiping and talking about someone behind their back. I don't feel that's the case, but that may be relevant for someone that's watching this reading. But what I'm seeing here with this Page of Swords in reverse with the Six of Wands is that inevitably you will rise up and be victorious in the situation. While you may be under attack now and your reputation may be under attack, you will come out victorious in the end. Your self-esteem will remain intact and will become actually fortified as a result of this situation. And it may feel a little bit destabilizing now to go through this, but in the end you're going to come out feeling a lot more grounded and stable. You may feel like you come out of a situation where you might have been a part of a party, you know, part of a collective or part of a group of people that at one time you felt very much aligned with and very much part of the growth of something maybe special and unique. But now is the time for you to go out on your own. With the Hierophant in reverse here in the outcome of this reading as well, it's also saying that I'm hearing duty. So part of what this is, maybe you might have been too tightly tied to the dogma of a specific group of individuals, and this is helping to release you from the dogma and the restraint of that specific unified force that may have been at one time very, you know, helping you to feel a sense of belonging and a sense of unity, but now may feel like a trap in a prison. So this is helping you to gain some momentum and some clarity about your own unique voice and your own individuation. That's what I feel in this reading as well. With this central axis of the reading is speaking very clearly to that, with Hermit reverse, Nine of Cups, and the King of Pentacles in the reverse here. This is about you landing on your own feet in your own way, in your own time, in your unique frequency. So uncomfortable right now, but it has a purpose. At the bottom of the deck, 10 of Cups, Woman of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles, and 9 of Wands in reverse. So it's a reiteration of what I said. So what might have been a sense of belonging with a community or a group or a collective, something that people that you collaborated with at one time, you may now realize that the integrity of that thing is in question, right? And you coming out here as the Queen of Pentacles in this final outcome of the cards of this reading, with the King of Pentacles in reverse here, is saying that yes, you're going to turn this situation around and realize that it actually is for your benefit. That spirit and your team of guides and those entities in the unseen world that are protecting you and guiding you and facilitating on your behalf are helping to bring you to a place where you will feel much more empowered. You will feel much more independent and grounded and stable and creative as a force in your own right, and free you up from the constraints of a group of or a collective of people that may have made you at one time feel like a sense of belonging, a companionship, or you know the power and the beauty of collaboration in a group mind setting. This is bringing you to a place where you will be able to express and accept your independence and your unique voice, Capricorn. I feel that's it for your reading. I'm just going to check over here, make sure that I have not missed anything. 2 3s in your reading. Another 6. You had 3 6s in the previous reading. There's also the Empress here, so there's 3 3s in this reading. There's 2 9s in the reading, 3 9s in the reading. So again, I'm only just pointing out the numerological references because I feel like there's something valid there in the patterns that are showing up. The 9s are bringing me this understanding that this is about you becoming unique and independent. The 5 there with the Hierophant in reverse is again about kind of getting some distance or space from the constraints of belonging to something that maybe is a little bit outmoded for you and a bit dogmatic. and bringing you to the possibility of having more freedom and independence in your own creative voice. I feel that's it for your reading. I hope this reading has given you some clarity and some confidence. I do feel though that you'll come out of this with greater sense of success and victory, even though it fucking sucks right now. That's what I feel in this reading. This is not an easy energy to be in. But you're going to establish yourself in a new way, independently, and you'll be much more empowered as a result of it. So bear with the forces that are acting upon you right now. Do your best to submit and surrender to the circumstances. Don't try to fight against it. Don't try to be defensive. Don't try to get back at or retaliate in any way. Just let things be. Move yourself on. Just distance yourself if you can as much as possible, and just go within for now. There will come a time soon where you can emerge out of this and come back into life in a visible, in a public way. But I feel like for now, this energy is requesting you to draw within, to go within, to seek answers within, to withdraw a little bit from life and from the influences that are acting upon you, and just seek to find the truth within you. Capricorn, thank you so much for your time. It's an honor and a pleasure to read for you. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting, and I will see you in the next reading.